Hi everyone, it's your boy Ricky here for Honeybee Stamps, and today I'm going to be making a card using some products from the latest release. I am so excited to show you some of these products being used today. Again, Honeybee Stamps knocks it out of the park every time, and this release is no different. So what we'll do is we'll go down to the downward facing camera so we can take a look at all the products that we're going to use, and we'll go ahead and get started making the card. So let's go ahead and go down to the desk. Okay, so we're going to be using this lovely 3D embossing folder. It's called Falling Leaves. We're going to try to incorporate Harvest Pearl stickers or Homestead Harvest gem stickers. I'm not for sure yet, and we may not even be using them, but we're going to see. We are going to use the Lovely Layers Wagon Wheel, the Lovely Layers Autumn Bouquet. We're also going to be using the Mini Messages Suites, and then we are going to be using the dies from the last release in order to cut these out. We're also going to be using some embossing ink, some metallic gold ink from Honeybee. We're going to be using some navy cardstock, some various other cardstocks, and, you know, of course, as a regular, a card base, which I have here on the side. There we go. And then, yeah, so let's go ahead and get set up for the first thing we're going to do, and I'll be back. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do here is we are going to go ahead and emboss our navy cardstock, and I'm going to do this with some gold ink. I love this technique. It always looks so beautiful, classic. It has a touch of fancy, and I'm going to show you how to do that now. So basically, all you do is you take your gold ink pad, and let's see, we want to see what side we want to use. Yeah, so we will ink this side. We can actually just ink up both sides, it won't hurt. Let's do it this way. Actually, we may not want to do both sides because I just realized that it's probably going to ink it fully. We'll see. All right, so we'll put our paper in, and we're going to run this through the die cutting machine, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've run this through the die cutting machine, and let's see what this beautiful artwork is. Wow. Oh my goodness, you guys. That is beautiful. On that navy cardstock, let's see what the back looks like. Ooh, that's pretty cool too, if you wanted to use that side. But this right here, gorge. Love that. It's so beautiful. And it's like always, just this technique is always so beautiful. It makes the card look so classic. And honestly, if you wanted to, all you'd have to do is put a sentiment on this with maybe a couple embellishments, and your card would be complete. Like, you don't really need to add anything else to this. But this is beautiful. Check that out. Wow. It's gorgeous. Navy blue is always a must-have in your craft room, pretty much for any type of card making, because it's just a classic color. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started to the next step. Okay, so what we're going to do now is go ahead and do the wagon wheel. We are going to be cutting this out of two different cardstocks here. We're going to be using this wheat colored cardstock. I believe this is wheat from Concord and Ninth. And we will also be using this color from Lawn Fawn. I think this is called Chocolate Bar. And we will run that through the die cutting machine. Alrighty, we have the wheel. This also has a little texture to it, which is very nice. That's why I chose that to use as the wheel. And then we will cut out this wagon wheel. And we're also going to cut out a piece of the center of the wheel of that same paper. And then I also want to cut out this the little round piece here out of this foil. So I'm just going to stick that there. I'm just going to cut out that one little itty bitty piece out of the foil. Okay, so we got all the pieces cut out, and just going to go off camera and get this all glued together. This is pretty simple. We just kind of put this there like that. We're going to line that up. Then we're going to put this guy here, and then this one here, and the wagon wheel will be complete. So I'll be... Okay, so we have the wagon wheel put together. We have that. Very nice. Love that. And now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and reset, and we will now be cutting out some of the flowers from the flower set. So let me reset and I'll be right back. Okay, now that we have the wagon wheel done, now I'm going to use this die set, Lovely Layers Autumn Bouquet, and I'm going to be cutting these items out of various cardstock colors that I have here, and also some gold foil. So I'm going to do that off camera, but I do want to show you some of the colors I'm going to be using. I'm using like a wheat color, a craft, a brown. For some of the flowers, I'm going to use orange, yellow, and purple. And for the leaves or the stems, I'll be using several greens. So let me go ahead and cut this off camera, and I'll put the flowers together and I'll show you guys what it looks like. Okay, so all the flowers have been cut out and put together, and I decided to go with some purples and some yellows. We do have a piece of cotton here, or a cotton plant. I decided to do the leaves in gold, and then the two wheat pieces I decided just to do in brown. So basically what we're going to be doing is kind of making a wreath out of this on the wagon wheel. But before we get started doing this, I want to do the sentiment. So we will go. Okay, so we have our supplies here to go ahead and do the heat embossing. And what I'm going to do is the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and use my static tool here and get a bunch of powder down onto the cardstock so that we know that this the embossing powder does not stick. And I'm going to be using the sentiment Wishing You the Sweetest Fall. So we'll just go ahead and take this off. We'll place it down onto our cardstock. This is Concord and Ninth Navy, or Midnight, I believe it's called. Then we'll just get that onto the MISTI. We're going to rub it because it's a new stamp, and then we're just going to use the embossing ink from Honeybee to go ahead and get this stamped out. And you want to do this gently. You don't want to press too hard because you don't want your sentiment to get smushed out. So go gentle, and we should be good. So we'll go ahead and take this out. And then we'll just get a piece of paper so that we can pour the embossing powder on. All right, there's a little stuck on here, but nothing we can't fix. We're just going to take a brush, brush that away, take the brush, there we go, that looks good. It's like magic every time. Is we will get our die here. I've decided to use this flag die here. And then we're going to cut it out. Just something that's not super tacky. Go ahead and get that down. And we'll run this through the die cutting machine and we'll be right back. Okay, now that we have the sentiment done, it is time to put the card together. So what we'll do is we will first put the card base or the card panel onto the card base by using some honeybee stamps glue. Get that good and lined up there. There we go. Just want to put some along the edges here to make sure that it gets nice and covered so that the panel sticks to the cardstock. There we go. Perfect. Okay, now I'm trying to decide if I want to pop this wagon wheel up or not. I think I do, so let me see if I can find some sentiments or some dimensionals here for this. I do have some strips here. I'm not going to cover this whole thing. I'm just going to put some here. Also put 2 little pieces in the center. Go ahead and take this off. Another reason why I did not place it all the way around, because I'm going to be placing flowers in this, and I want to make sure that they can go through the wheel or the spokes if I need them to. And I'm not going to press this down because I want to be able to lift it up if I need to. So we're just going to lay this here. And then I want to start putting things together. I forgot. So we're going to go ahead and start putting this together, and we're kind of just eye it and kind of do it. We will do, maybe do it here. Maybe I'll put this one back behind here. I think that looks good. And then we could put the cotton maybe on top over here. And then the wheat, maybe one on the top here. And maybe a wheat here. Maybe another one here. Kind of just playing around, making sure everything looks good. I think that looks great like that. So we can press the wagon wheel down. That's going to press some of this onto the cardstock, but then what I want to do is just give a little bit of dimension to some of the flowers. So I'll just put like a little piece of foam tape behind this guy in there. And then we'll glue some of this down here. We're just going to put glue wherever it might meet the wagon wheel. There we go. And then I'm thinking the sentiment could just go here, across the center, or maybe here. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments where you would have put in the sentiment. Here, or here, or maybe here. I think this is covering too much of the beautiful flowers, so I think I'm going to put it maybe here. Yeah, I think it's going to go maybe a little lower. Right there. And since the wagon wheel is already dimensional, we can just put the sentiment down onto the wheel and it'll stick there. Wishing you the sweetest fall. Now, I did say that I wanted to put some bling on this, so let's find the bling. Let's try these gold pearls. Yeah, I like the gold pearls better. And maybe we'll just stick them a few in little indentions that we already have here. I think that might be cool. We'll just pull these off with a craft knife, maybe stick one here. Doesn't have to be crazy, ridiculous. Maybe we'll do a smaller one or a big one. Let's do a big one maybe here. And then maybe another small one here. And then maybe a medium here. So how many we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I'm going to keep it at 5. You guys, I believe this card is completed. Let me hold it up and show it to you guys. Wow. That is really, really nice. What I enjoy about this card is it's super shiny. It looks very classic because of the navy blue and the gold. And it's just fancy, you guys. Look at that. It's super nice. I love it. It kind of almost looks a little busy, but it's not. It's just because of the stems and the spokes are really showing through. If I wanted to, I could have removed some of the stems, but I think this is totally fine. And it's great. So anyway, I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. I truly appreciate it. Make sure that you click the links down in the description to find all the products that I used, and make sure you head over to Honeybee Stamps and check out all the latest and greatest stuff that was just released. You can also find them over on Instagram, Facebook, all the socials, and you can also find me by searching for Bromero Cards on Instagram and YouTube. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you later. Bye.